Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. It is live stream number 2 of the week, Macro Talk 2, and it is May the 1st, which means yesterday was the last day of April, and we have a competition to judge. This was probably the most anemic, that's not a good word, is it, really? We didn't get many submissions this month, which is a shame, really. I thought food and drink would be very popular. It certainly was last time, but we got lots of good photographs, and I'm going to go through all of them and introduce you to the winners. And we have a new winner this week. Isn't that exciting? Somebody who hasn't won before, but has sure been trying very hard for a long time. So that will be coming up. I got a couple of submissions that actually never showed up in the Walls app. They never showed up in the competition list. I don't know where they went. So if you're one of those people, I do apologize. I don't know where you put the pictures. I couldn't find them. So yeah, there's that. This Saturday, 2 days from now, after stack, 10 o'clock in the morning until about 11:30 or whenever we get through. We're going to be talking about post-production in macro photography, which is all we talk about on Afterstack. And I'm not exactly sure what we're talking about this week. It's Bud's week, and I'm sure he's got something exciting lined up, and I'll probably find out on Saturday morning. So that's the plan. Now, with the last competition over, that means we have a new one just started. And this month it is, thanks to the generosity of my co-judge, Rick Littlefield, stereo is the subject for May. So this is going to be a lot of fun. You can submit any picture that you want that is in stereo, that is a stereo image set, any way you want to do it. You can do it using hieroglyphics, the colored things that's so horrible to look at, or you can use synthetic stereo through Xerine Stacker. You can use actual stereo, photographed yourself from different angles. And it doesn't matter. You can use any technique you like. But I'm going to tell you something very, very important. And that is the winner is probably going to shoot something very, very small. In other words, a relatively high magnification photograph. and it is going to be something that the judge, the main judge, Rick, is going to look at and say, oh my goodness, I did not realize that's what that was, or I didn't realize the shape of that structure, or the relationship of the parts. You've got to teach the judge something with this. You'll remember last time he was very specific about that. The stereo image has to be worth shooting in stereo. If I gave a couple of examples over on my website where you enter, I pointed out that a stereo photograph of a football, for example, and a real football, a soccer ball, it would fail on two levels. It would be too big, and it would reveal the soccer ball to be round, which I don't know about Rick's exposure to sports. I think it's relatively minimal, but he would probably already know that the soccer ball was going to be round. It's in the name, ball. So that would not be likely to win. But a teeny tiny thing like a mosquito that had something unusual about it revealed in the photograph, for example, that it was shuffling a deck of playing cards, now that might win, because that's showing us something and it's very, very small. I'm telling you so that you'll know. Okay. I think that's everything that I had for the competition. So it starts now, or it started at midnight, and it'll go on till the end of the month. Rick and I are going to judge it together as a team, me distracting him while he actually does the judging, and then that result will come out at the beginning of June. So I was thinking this morning about whether maybe the competition could be moved to once every 2 months, if that would drive a little more interest in it. But it's been so popular over the years, I think I'm going to leave it at every month for now, but let you know that I'm thinking about it. If we get low turnout in the future, it might indicate that we ought to spread them out a bit. We had 19 total entries, one of which you'll see probably should have been disqualified, seeing as it's really not anything to do with food or drink. But the rest, I've split them up into two categories. 8 winners. No, there's a tie in there, so it is 9 winners. And the rest are all honourable mentions, because I'm so glad you submitted an entry. If you hadn't done, we wouldn't have had them. And I'm going to talk about each of them in a positive light, but give some suggestions about how they may have been improved a little bit and maybe caught the judge's attention. All right, so anything else that I needed to cover? I don't think so. If we run out of pictures, we're not going to run out of time. If we run out of pictures today, I do want to loop back to Tuesday's live stream. I managed my time appallingly during that live stream, and only ended up reviewing the one book, the Cremona book, Beyond Extreme Macro, which you'll discover if you watch the video I wasn't particularly in thrall of. I mean, it was not a great book. But we talked about it, talked about every chapter of it, and at the end of the time I realized, my goodness, I've run out of time. And I didn't talk about the 3 fantastic field guides that I had selected to talk about. So we may loop around and talk about one of those. The problem is my notes are over there, and I realized that as the music was ending, so I may need to go get them. But anyhow, let's begin with the competition, shall we? I'm going to try something different today, which is always the kiss of death, because I haven't practiced this. I'm going to see if I can use OBS, which is my streaming platform, to show you the pictures. And already I've made a mistake, because this is not the first picture in the slideshow. So what I'll do is I'll go backwards. That's what we'll do. So this is the first honourable mention, and in order for me to get the information on it, I'm going to have to open another window. There it is. So this is a pair by Hans-Peter Steiner, and it's one of our honourable mentions. It is clearly a pair, but it doesn't appeal on a food kind of basis. Now, let me make a point here. There are a couple of food photographs that are unquestionably photographs of food or drink that somehow make the food or drink a little unpalatable. For example, this one, which looks like it could have maybe been fished out of the bin to take this picture, because the pear, as you can see, has already been eaten. So generally speaking, when I'm submitting a photograph myself to a food competition, I would want to make that food look interesting, maybe surprising, but also delicious, and appealing, inviting. That's, I guess, not strictly true, and I certainly didn't state that in the competition run-up. But really, in looking at some of these, I think, gosh, that's an interesting photograph. It's quite well shot. The lighting's nice. There's plenty of detail in it. I certainly don't find fault in any of that. I even like the background, the way it fades off into darkness. All that's very appealing. It's just the pear isn't. I wouldn't want to take a bite of this at this point, it having already been mostly eaten. But yeah, it looks a little unsanitary. So it didn't make it into the top 8, but still, honourable mention. Nice pear from Hans-Peter Steiner. Let's move on to the next one, and we're gonna go backwards in the hope that this will get me. Gosh, is that the right direction? No, it's not. It's actually still going in the forward direction. So I'm going to try something different in just a second. No, I'm not. I'm just going to keep going. This one is from. I know who it's from. It's from George. Am I right? Yes, it is. It's from George. It's called High Tea, I believe. Yes, George Simpkins, High Tea. An honourable mention. This is tea, right there in the cup. Jam of some kind, I think it is. I'm not really sure. It looks a little suspect, lumpy for jam. And then scones here. I think they're scones, all laid out on a nice doily or whatever that might be. That looks very nice. I'm just not sure how macro it is. And, I did say in the instructions that I'd go with anything from, I would go from anything from 1 to, what did I say, 1 to 4, up to larger than life size. We got plenty of real macro shots in here, but this might be just a little bit too far away. But anyway, it's a nice photograph. It's well lit. The subject is not exactly delicious looking, but yeah, I thought well worth an honourable mention. I'm not sure what these bits are in the scones. I've never seen scones like that, but yeah, it's interesting. Just didn't grab me too firmly. What I think I'm going to do, if this also moves in the wrong direction when I press the button. And it did, but that's okay. This is from Julie Botts. This is a thing. Not exactly sure what the thing is. It's when good fruit goes bad. And definitely I can see that things aren't really super here with things going bad. It looks like a rotting or decaying something or other. But I don't really know what. It's certainly a macro photograph. It tells a story, and you get credit for that. But I'm really not sure what I'm looking at, and I don't want to be too close to it, whatever it is, because it does look rather scary, actually. So it looks like there might even be a dead insect floating in it. I don't know for sure. So Julie would have to tell me what this delicious thing is, but for the time being, honorable mention. Thank you for submitting it. No question about that. And I think we should move on because I'm getting just a little queasy here. This is from Moshe Marton. This is music women and booze or something. I can't remember what he called it. Let me read the actual title of it. Nope. Can't find it. I don't know where I wrote it down. But there it is. Wine, Women, and Song. Okay, I see the wine. Fewer women than the title would suggest, and I'll take your word for it that there's music going on. This is a clever composition. I like the idea of the bottle of wine and the decanter and the two glasses. I am concerned about the light and the choice of subjects. There's several things here that all kind of combine together to make this a less successful photograph than it could have been. The focus is problematic. Really, nothing is actually sharply in focus. I don't know if there's an element of motion blur in here, but the picture isn't completely flat. It's a little bit rotated to the left. If you are going to put a signature on a photograph or an imprint, I would usually recommend making it almost invisible and tucking it down into a corner where it can hardly be seen. I know that probably sounds like it's defeating the object, but in this day and age, nobody is going to look at a photograph with an imprint on it and be that impressed by it. It's a distraction. There are other ways that we can digitally do that without it getting in the way of the photograph. But to make it bright red makes it one of the more eye-catching elements in the photograph. The lighting here is a cross between a transillumination and a silhouette, and that is a little problematic here because it's robbing light from the things that I want to see, the shape of the decanter and the contents thereof, and even the label on the wine bottle. Maybe that's intentional, but if you're using rim lighting on something like a wine bottle, you really want to, in my opinion, start with a very soft light off camera, usually on this side, a little bit behind, and light the whole rim of the bottle. This is a little uneven, and it looks more like not enough light on the subject as opposed to a silhouette or rim lighting. The glasses look, I don't know if this is just the photographic technique or the dishwashing technique, but the fingerprints, smudgy material on the glass, when you are making the glass in a glass of wine the subject that everybody's eye is going to be drawn to, this glass needs to be absolutely pristine. You need to scrub it to the point of shining. So just a word to the wise on that. Having a light in the background may have been a little more effective had this been a candle or something very, very low intensity. This is an awfully bright light. It's causing some posterization up above here. That's probably camera settings, but yeah, it's a great idea and almost got it just for those few technical issues. So let us move on. And what I'm trying to avoid is getting into the... Nope, okay, all right. So I see what happened there. Ignore that photograph. That was a mistake. So we're going to start over here. No, we've done that one. We've done that one. All right. Now we're back on track. This is an interesting photograph that I hate to say, I don't know what it is. The title of it was Space Colony, making me think it's some kind of a colony, some kind of a cultured food, maybe cheese or something. Not really sure what the holes are about. Somebody will tell me here in a minute to clue me into what I'm actually looking at. And I'm not sure what this piece of plastic is doing in the middle of the food. So maybe I'm just missing the point on this. This is definitely a close-up, a macro photograph. It is definitely interesting because I've been looking at it for half an hour this morning trying to figure out exactly what it is. And I have no earthly idea what this blue and white piece of plastic is in the middle of it. Doesn't look very appetizing, and I feel like I'm missing the point with the title. So if the photographer, and I should tell you who that was, Bruce Thompson, if Bruce is out there, maybe you can give me a hint or a clue. Is this some kind of a cake or a cookie or a piece of bread? And what is the garbage doing in it? Yep. Okay. So I wouldn't eat this either. So honorable mention to Bruce for Space Colony. Don't get the reference to space either, but don't worry about that. Okay. This is an honorable mention. It's one of two photographs which I really liked, actually. This is a photograph of a strawberry seed on the surface of a strawberry, something we've seen before. And this is strawberry seed number 1, and it's from Lauran Zass. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, sir. This is an interesting photograph because, first of all, it's showing me something I'm not real familiar with, a strawberry seed. I've never looked at them quite up this close. This looks to me like it's probably a single focus shot, or it could be a very shallow stack. But we have, I guess, some issues with, I'm seeing a fair amount of highlights scattered around in here, which are not really that distracting. But I'm also not seeing a whole lot of detail in the substance of the strawberry. There's a fair amount of detail on the seed, but we have this out of focus bokeh all around it, which is kind of obscuring some of what I would find interesting, the hole that the seed is living in. I'm also not sure I particularly like the framing. It looks a little off balanced. The surface of the seed is very interesting. I'm not familiar with it, but when you take away its context, other than the red color, it loses something. But don't forget about this, because there is another strawberry seed that may have succeeded in places where this one did less so. So next up, this is an interesting and worrying photograph, because I'm not exactly sure if I'm getting this one either. It's called, let me see if I can find it. It's something to do with two pairs. It's also from Bruce. It's from Bruce Thompson as well. Hang on a second. If that's from Bruce, that means... oh, no, the first one was the Space Colony. There you go. I thought maybe he'd submitted 3, and that would have been a disaster. So the title is Two Pairs. Okay. Let's try to figure out what is meant by that. This is a pear right here in a glass. Not normally the way I would serve a pear, but there you go. And there are 2 drinks here. Is this the other pair? A pair of drinks? Or is this a pear-derived drink? I had to go and look up on Wikipedia what liqueurs or other drinks are made from pears, and I didn't come across any that were this color or blue, though I'm not ruling it out. It could be that. So the 2 pairs, I'm guessing, are a pair of glasses and a pear in a glass. It's... I think there are certainly ways that this could have been made a little more appetizing. Again, the pear does just not look very tasty in that setting. And this looks like dilute fairy liquid or some other dishwashing liquid in a glass, not being familiar with blue drinks. Or it could be a clear drink against a blue background. I'm not sure. I'm missing the point here. And when you're photographing glass and you're making glass the subject of the picture, I mean, assuming that the pear itself is not, most of your light is directed towards these 2 glasses in the front. It's really, really important to use that light effectively to light the interesting parts of the glass, like I think some more attention to getting light into the engraved or the texture of the glass to show the pattern that is only hinted at. If this is the subject, there are ways that you could have done that with some careful side lighting or even a little bit of backlighting to show that more acutely. I'm not sure that the colors go particularly well together. Greens and turquoise are a little jarring to my sensibility. So there's one other thing I would suggest, and I'm not saying that it would necessarily have made this into a picture that would be appealing right off the bat, but there is a subtle loss of symmetry that doesn't look good when you have almost symmetry. It makes this lack of balance between the position of the two glasses at the front. It looks more like a mistake in positioning than it does a deliberate positioning of the glasses. Without knowing exactly what the artist was trying to accomplish with this, I'm not exactly sure what other hint I might give, what would have made it a little more interesting. But right now it's more confusing than anything. But thank you very much for going to the trouble to submit this and for trying. Trying is always a good thing. All right, along the same theme, I don't know if Julie Botts thought that the title of the competition this month was "Tumors of the Skin" or delicious food items, because I am not sure what this is, but it looks devastatingly unappealing from an eating standpoint. I'm not at all sure. This may be some type of mold or fungus. I don't know. Could be somebody's beard. And this horrific looking surface here, I don't know what it is. Could this also be a strawberry that has taken a turn? Yeah, it could be. I don't know. But I am categorically not going to eat this or seek it out to see if I can find a slightly nicer looking morsel to nibble on. This does not look edible. It does look like something a surgeon and a dermatologist need to get together on and come up with a plan of action. But on food and drink, I'm just going to have to say this missed the point for me, and we'll move on. I didn't say that the food could not be rotten, by the way, so that it's perfectly in keeping with the idea of the theme. But shall we move on? I think it's probably an excellent idea. All right, this is it raises a couple of questions. I think important questions, like who would think that this would be a foodstuff, and if it were, would this be a particularly appetizing member of the group? Because to me, no, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't eat anything with eyes that big, or anything with claws like that, to be honest. It's a lovely picture of a terrifying looking insect crawling up a blade of grass, but it definitely doesn't fit either food or drink. Not in my part of Illinois, anyway. You only time you would eat this would be if you were out on a bicycle ride and yawned as you were going through a cloud of these things. Then you might end up eating one. But other than that, I would have to say this is either a mistake and it was meant to be sent to somebody else's competition, or I was just being challenged to see if I could tell the difference between this and, say, a cake. And I really think I can. The title of this is, should I read it out to you? Yeah, it's 00000IMG0000 burst 20 50 40 16 12 66 78 _ cover.jpg. Right, that didn't mean anything to me, but it does make me want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody else in this competition who used the naming convention exactly the way we set it up, and it made my job a lot easier. So this one, not a very good title, not a very appetizing snack for lunch, and probably in the wrong competition. So we will leave that where it was. I don't know who took it because they didn't put their name on the entry. So I could just have left that out, but it was rather nice to take a look at. All right, this is another one from Moshe Marton, and this is an interesting picture of apples falling out of a bowl that's fallen over, and I think the main issue here for me, certainly worth an honourable mention. Moshe's been submitting the pictures to this competition since it began, and I'm really appreciative of all the effort he puts into it. And this is a nice idea and a nice composition. It's well framed. I like the neutral background. The apples, I sense, might have been arranged a little bit more deliberately to make them look accidental, if you see what I'm saying. We're looking at a lot of upside down apples and that type of thing. Not that that really matters. And I'm not sure these aren't something else, maybe oranges or quinces. I don't know. I don't know. The areas that are a little problematic are the focus. It is not really in focus, which is always a bit of a problem. And there is some lighting issues, maybe a little more diffusion on the lighting and a little more, maybe even stack this, maybe 2 or 3 images stacked together would take care of the focus problem. But it does look a little soft. Possibly some of this could be diffraction. I'm not sure what lens system Moshe was using. But now we're going to move on to the image. No, yes, we are. This is at number 9. And heading our way up to number 1. This is the second strawberry seed photograph that we got from Lauran Zass, and I like this one a lot more. If you take a good look at it, you'll see that there does appear to be a little bit of a focus issue. I don't know if this was a handheld stack or just a manual stack or how it was actually shot. But the seed and the surroundings are fairly well lit, a little bit on the bright side at the edges, but you'll notice that you can see the individual cells in the integument of the strawberry, and I like that. I like the fact that you can see a fair amount of the actual anatomy of the strawberry skin. Also, the seed is in good focus, and it doesn't have any issues with blown highlights. And we're seeing now the seed in situ in the way we would expect to see it in a strawberry. That gives us a lot more context and a lot more of a feel for the subject. I would say in a food and drink competition, it may just ever so slightly miss the dead solid center of the target, in that if you weren't familiar with strawberries, if you didn't know what a strawberry was and that it tasted nice, if this was just some apparent plant material that you'd never seen before, this could look worrying in several respects. And I get back to the dermatology thing. But yeah, it is a macro photograph that is really not capturing the gestalt of food and drink, though you could criticize me for saying that. It's a nice photograph, it's interesting, it grabbed my attention, and it was certainly worthy of getting all by itself place number 9. So good job indeed. And that was Lauran. Excellent. Okay, next up, this is a really nice picture. Having looked at several apples today already, this is a very successful picture of an apple. And this one is from Mr. Al-Samati. I'm pretty sure I've got that correct. Let me double check, because there were a couple of pictures he submitted. Yeah, it's An Apple a Day Keeps the Doctor Away, and it's by Rashad Al-Samati. Rashad's another person who has just tirelessly tried to capture our imagination with his photographs in this competition, and has got gradually and consistently better over the months. This is a really well framed, well lit, exciting picture of an apple. The color is superb. I love the touch of adding some misted water, or possibly glycerin, whatever this is, to give the feel of this being a crisp, cold apple with condensation on it. Lots and lots of detail in the stem, which is kind of at the heart of this photograph. The whole foreground and stem are beautifully in focus. I've always had a soft spot for these this framing of orb-shaped subjects to give this planetary view, and especially with a dark background, it draws all the attention to the apple, and the kind of diving of the apple down into the pit where the stem comes from. It makes it a bit mysterious. He's picked an apple that looks frankly delicious, and bravo. This is a very, very good photograph of an apple, and well done, Rashad. I do like that. And I like the title too. An Apple a Day Keeps the Doctor Away, except of course I am a doctor, so that would not have been a good thing in a competition, but we'll skip over that. And at number 7, this is a fantastic photograph. Okay, it is not strictly a macro photograph. It's a close-up image, kind of a still life. But this is also from George Simpkins. Where this grabbed my attention and won it some points was he has done what you really have to do when you're photographing a still life, or you're telling a story with a photograph. The image has to be well lit and in focus, and the things that the artist is drawing your attention to need to be positioned in the frame in a way that your attention is drawn to them. For example, the label on the whiskey bottle, which is almost readable. I mean, you can't quite see the end of the word bourbon, but you know that you're looking at a bottle of whiskey, no doubt about it. It says it on it. And then a glass of it, if that's the same stuff, that obviously looks like somebody is intending to drink this. So there's a story here. I think there's even a story in the cork lying on the table. Normally when one would drink a beverage that had a cork in it, the cork would end up back in the bottle after the beverage was poured. This tells a story of the person not really caring about whether or not the cork goes back in the bottle, either because they're planning to have more of the tasty beverage, or they're distracted. And why would they be distracted? Well, could be because they're being evicted. And I think this is just very clever. Not only is it an eviction notice, it's been crumpled up. And this just tells a fantastic story of somebody who's just found this document in their mailbox or nailed to their door, and they're not feeling very chipper about it, and they are about to drown their sorrows. So great story, great execution. The lighting is perfect. It looks like it was lit by a single light in the kitchen on the ceiling, but I know he went to a lot more trouble to get this lighting right on the label and everything, but it gives that look of a casual snap, but it's not. It's a very nice photograph. So well done, George. That was a very successful picture, well thought out and well executed. I enjoyed that one. And this is one of two. Well, I just think I spoiled the fun of it. This is from Amy, and this is Strange Flower. Let me double check that I'm getting the title exactly right there. It is, let me see, Strange Flower, yep, by Amy Furman. This is actually in 5th position because George's picture that I just showed was actually in 6th position by itself. This is a tie, though. This is Amy Furman's Strange Flower. And it is a strange flower because it's not a flower at all. It's a piece of popcorn. And I think that's what it is. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it looks awfully like a piece of popped popcorn. And that makes it look like an odd flower, right enough. And it is food, and it is a macro shot, and it's well lit, and it is sharply in focus. And it's clever. It made me think when I saw it. I liked it. I liked it quite a lot. It would require an even more interesting approach to popcorn to unlodge the picture of this image from my brain. But that, unfortunately for Amy, is exactly what did happen. And this is from Pierre Seurat. This is also a piece of popcorn. I think. I'm hoping that I'm getting this right on the popcorn, but he has called it Coleoptera, and that was that's what got this one into a tie with Amy. This does in fact look like some kind of a strange beetle, but it is a piece of popcorn. Now this is clever. This is exactly the kind of thing I like to see. That the title is giving me a clue that is leading me in the wrong direction, only for me to have it pop and figure it out and then feel delighted that I sorted it out. And that's what you try to do with the viewer of your photograph. So here's this piece of popcorn that Pierre looked at and thought, my goodness, that looks like a beetle with its wings out, or a beetle climbing on something. It does have a really beetly look because of this mottled surface on the popcorn, but he's photographed it really well. I love the way he has got below the kernel of corn and is shooting up to it. This absolutely makes the subject more imposing and looming, and adds interest and gravity to it. So this was very nice, as was Amy's, and I could not separate the two. Both for cleverness and the idea of using a popped corn kernel. So I'm going to give these both a tied position at number 5 for Coleoptera from Pierre Seurat and Strange Flower from Amy Furman. Which means we must be on to image number 4. Let's see if that works. Yes, it does. This is a lovely photograph that also encapsulates a story, is technically very well shot, and I'm really delighted with this one, pleased with it, and love the whole feel of it. It's Capsicum Waste, The Next Generation by Roy Walker. And Roy nailed this one. It is a pepper, a capsicum pepper in that family of burny foods, and it has been sliced or bitten. It's hard to tell, but the pepper has been removed, leaving the seeds on the stem. I'm not exactly sure how you would do this, which is intriguing and kind of tells a story of its own. It makes you think somebody bit that, and yeah, I don't know, but that would be awfully hot. The Next Generation, of course, are the seeds right here, and they're beautifully preserved. This is a photographic competition, so obviously I'm looking at the quality of the image, and this is really, really nice. It's well lit. It's just variable enough on the surface of the vegetable for me to see shadow and depth, and get the sense of the three-dimensional object we're looking at. The stem is beautifully green, which looks fantastic against the bright red of the fruit. And the seeds are interesting. I like the way they're stacked up. This looks fascinating to behold. So all in all, a very successful, unusual photograph. I may have expected to see a pepper cut in half lengthways to show this. This is not a way I would normally think of demonstrating that, but it's very successful and kept my attention. So excellent. Capsicum Waste, The Next Generation by Roy Walker in position number 4. In position number 3, this marvelously deranged photograph by the title of, I can't remember what, Crime Scene, I believe was Crime Scene Choco Bunny Massacre from Hans-Peter Steiner. Hans-Peter has no qualms at all about introducing some disturbing concepts or interesting concepts into his photography. And this is really fantastic. From the first of all, it's got a cute and funny title that kind of gives you a hint as to what you're going to be looking at. But it's clever and it's unusual, and this is not the way you normally see Easter bunnies presented in a photograph. You normally see them intact and shiny and looking delicious and delectable, not in pieces. So this was just a great idea, and it's been well shot. It's clear that the focus of attention is this face, and everything else is kind of supplementary to that and slightly fading into bokeh. But you can't help but look at this poor face and realize what you're looking at. It's a smashed up chocolate bunny, which is about all this kind of chocolate is good for, by the way. The ones they make bunnies out of, it's pretty horrible tasting chocolate, but so this is nice. It's a very anti-Eastery kind of sentiment, but it's well shot, well lit. In fact, beautifully lit. I love the way he's got eyes and ears and bits all over the table here. It's clever and it's well balanced. It looks nice for a thing that isn't at its core very nice, but it was interesting enough and funny enough and well photographed enough for me to put it at position number 3. And in second place, probably the most complicated title of any photograph in the competition. I'll read it to you if I can find it. The title of this picture is as follows. On March 3rd, Alan said, make a macro, not macaroni. I don't remember saying that, but that's only part of the title. The rest of it is, so I say, spelt elbow pasta. This is a piece of macaroni that has not been cooked, and it's absolutely beautifully photographed by Ingolf Kuntz. Ingolf has a way with lighting and texture that is hard to beat. It really is. And to think that a photograph of a single piece of uncooked macaroni could hold my attention like this did is a testament to how good a photographer this man is. The lighting is sublime. This is, it looks to me like a combination of very subdued filtered light from above and also some from the side that's transilluminating part of the pasta. You can see every detail of the cut surface of the pasta, making me wonder what the machine looks like that cuts this. And even more interesting is the inclusions in the dough, in the, what do you call that stuff that they make pasta out of? Pasta, I guess. But when it goes into the machine and gets pushed out as these things, I did not know there were bits in it. I always thought it was a fairly uniform paste. And I make pasta, and I didn't know it looked like this. So this was a surprise and a delightful one. I also love the leading lines leading down into the mysterious inside of this pasta. This is so clever. And your attention and eye is drawn in from both ends. It's just a thoughtful and perfectly lit example of a piece of food that deserves to do well in a competition. Ingolf, I would love to learn from you one day how you come up with these shots and how you carry them through to the final picture, because this is so successful, and it is a masterpiece in subtlety. And it looks amazing. Well done. And that's Ingolf Kuntz in position number 2. So that means there's only one picture left that has won this competition, and I am absolutely delighted and thrilled to welcome to the winner's circle Rashad Al-Sumati with this really lovely picture of a dragon fruit, actually 2 dragon fruits. And these are interesting fruits, and somehow Rashad has turned these into an inferno. It looks like a strange, surreal type of fire that's burning, and the way that the leaves at the top of these fruits are curling and over each other and under, especially in the center here, where we have this continuity between the 2 leaves, does make it look to me an awful lot like guttering flames. And I know what I'm looking at, but I still can't shake the feeling of this being a very active scene. The colors are lovely. The lighting is even and very good. The tiny little bit of out of focus at the back of the fruit is perfectly acceptable. Everything else is in nice sharp focus. It's at the very limit of close up. I would say that we're right at about the 1:4 magnification, and assuming that these are fairly small passion fruits, but dragon fruits, I mean. Did I say dragon? Yeah, it is dragon fruit. There's only really one thing that bothered me about it, and it caused me to look up pictures of dragon fruits, actually, and it's these. I can understand these leaves being cut in harvesting the thing. It bothered me that this one was prominent and this one is the most jarring. But you know what? It was made acceptable by the vibrance and the excitement in the rest of the photograph. I love the dark background. It's very successfully shot. Tells a fascinating story that can be completely make-believe. But yeah, a successful technical picture, unusual and surprising subject that tells a story that it goes way beyond the fruit. So Rashad has been submitting photographs since the beginning of this competition, and takes some absolutely fantastic insect photographs. This is something of a departure for him, and it's I think well worthy of the win. And Rashad, well done, congratulations. I know that you've been plugging away at this for a long time. It's delightful to see you win the thing. So there you go. That's the winner from this month. I'm not going to have time to try to rush another review. I will review those field guides that I was going to talk about. They were the Dragonfly, one that I introduced on Tuesday by Ed Lamb. The Protozoa, Freshwater Protozoa, which is a superb book that I want to talk about when I get a chance. And what was the third one? It was also brilliant. Oh, it was the Tiger Beetle book. So I'll talk about those in full length when I have a little bit more time than this. Now what I'm going to do for the last 5 minutes is just see who's here and see what we come up with. An idea for either a live stream topic or a contest. Pep Ventosa style image at a macro scale. Okay. Interesting. That, don't you think though, that's where you take a bunch of photographs from different angles and blend them together to make a kind of odd looking thing. Don't you think that would get old if everybody did that in the same competition? You should have just kept that to yourself and submitted one of those. It might have won. All right, let me go back and look at the rest of the comments here. Robert, I could not find your photographs, my friend. I do apologize, but there you go. Graham's here and says the weather is nice. It's the hottest UK, the hottest 1st of May in the UK since history began, which for England was a long time ago. So, yeah, good for you. Ingolf, welcome in Germany. Congratulations. You're the winner. No, you're not. You're the almost winner. Runner-up, position number 2. Roy Walker, greetings. Congratulations. David says it's 64 in Maine. That sounds lovely, 64. I don't know what it is here. I've been in the dungeon all day long. It's cellar temperature in this part of Illinois. And Sean Maston. Sean, have we met before? Welcome. If not, it's good to have you here. And don't be put off by by today. Normally we just come back. Give us a try again. Let me see. People are saying back and forth greetings and what have you at the beginning of the meeting, which is great. Alistair's here. Thank you, Alistair. Really appreciate your helping with everything you do during these live streams. I appreciate it. Diane Vatcher's here. Greetings, Diane. Arctic is here from Washington State, I think. Yeah, that's where Seattle is. Borderland Peppers. Hey, Borderland. Haven't seen you in a little while. Good to have you with us. And Just Me, greetings in Transylvania. Steve Birmingham from Birmingham. That is either an incredible coincidence or a fake name. We won't know. We won't know, will we? We'll just we'll call you Steve. Steve, good to have you back again. I'm glad you decided to give us another crack. And let me see. Diane's computer crashed, so no picture. That's a shame. But thanks for thinking of us and trying. Demetrius is here from Athens. Hey, how are you? And Arthur Wagner. Greetings, Art. Nick, have you not answered your own question? Oh, he was talking to Alistair. Yeah, we'll leave that be for a minute. Julie Botts, It's a Strawberry. Wrong title. Yeah, but it was still a rotten strawberry, right? Yeah, I think so. It still didn't look super appetizing. Let me see. Beautiful day, and David Brown's going out to shoot. Well, let's see your pictures, David, when you get back. Yeah, too nice a day not to at least get out. I agree. Bud Parrott's here. Greetings, Bud. Hopefully you will have at some point later in this have mentioned what we're talking about on Saturday, but otherwise surprise us. We will see you then. Diane, mold. Diane, or cheese. Nick thinks it's a crumpet, but it doesn't look like a crumpet. I thought crumpet when I saw the holes in it, but I couldn't make sense of what the blue piece of plastic was doing down in the crumpet. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the actual thing comes out to be. Alistair Schnapps, you're asking for some, or what's the deal? That might be the 2 glasses of liquid, right? Zeno asks, what is fairy liquid? I'll let Alistair answer that, or Nick. It's dish soap. It's green dish soap, greenish blue, and it's what my mum used to use. Fairy liquid. You put it in water and it foams up, and you wash the dishes in it. I know you've heard of that. Isn't there a pear-flavored schnapps? Well, I'm sure there is. And there are some pear liqueurs, but I've not seen any that are greeny blue or that colour yellow. Doesn't mean they don't exist. We'll have to wait for the photographer to tell us. Mouldy strawberry, says Julie. Okay, I think we've got that one down. Makes your hands as soft as your face, says Roy Walker. He's not talking about mouldy strawberries. He's talking about Fairy Liquid, I feel sure, because that's one of their things that they advertised, is making your hands soft. Never really worked for me, but there you go. Food and drink is what it is. Mold engrossed. Okay, fair enough. Can't argue with that. Let me see. Cricket chips, says Diane Vatcher. Now that sounds like a swear word from somewhere. Cricket chips. I've never heard of those before. What are cricket chips? Yep, saw that on the menu at the local Michelin-starred restaurant the other day, says Nick. Cricket chips? What restaurants are you going to, Nick? Anyway, then Alistair's put a link in there that I'm not going to click on it in case it does something to the live stream, but I definitely want to know what supersavvyme.co.uk is selling. But anyway, yeah, I'll look that up. If that's those cricket chips. God, I hope they're not actual crickets, are they? That would be awful. Okay. Let me see. I think we are at the end of... Yep, we are. Zeno wants to know what the Scoville scale value for that pepper was that somebody had bitten the top off. Very low. Zeno, it was a sweet pepper, says Roy Walker. I doubt it would register on the scale. There you go. The mechanism that cuts pasta is a single spinning blade that scrapes across the exit end on the extrusion die. Isn't that exactly what I said? No, it's not. It's not exactly what I said. But wasn't that a lovely piece of pasta? I mean, absolutely. That's the thing about Ingolf's photographs. He photographs stuff, and then I go look for it to photograph in my own house to see if I can get that same lovely feel he gets for these ordinary subjects and extraordinary photographs. Let me see. I think we're at the end here. Anyway, thank you for coming. It's exactly 3 o'clock. I have a job this afternoon. I'm going to take photographs of. I can't tell you. It's a top secret what I'm going to be photographing, but I'm excited about it, and I'm heading there now. So I will see you on Saturday if you make it to After Stack, which is free. The invitation is over on my website, and you are welcome to attend. It's all about how you edit your macro photographs. And welcome to May, and I hope you have a great month. Stereo this month, any way you want to do it. Oh, I meant to say, one day next week, Tuesday or Thursday, I am going to do a live stream on stereo, just to refresh your memory on how you do synthetic stereo in Zerine Stacker, or how you shoot stereo with a camera, and I'll show you all the different ways that you can submit pictures, and so that you'll know everything you need to know to win the competition this month. And I hope I told you Rick Littlefield is our guest judge, and I cannot wait to have his wisdom on all of this technical stuff. It's going to be great fun. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you next week. Take care, stay safe, and be well.